Okay, so last day we started into the fractions unit, right? And we go, and what we mainly looked at is how can we simplify fractions and what is a fraction? And the technique that I showed you, which works in every single situation, is if you write out the prime factors of the numbers, then you just cancel out the factors that show up on the top and the bottom. So this works with any fraction that you're given. Unfortunately, it is not very fast. So at the very end of the last lesson, we looked at something what you're probably more familiar with. Yes, Meta?
I forgot my book at home, so can I write it on a piece of paper?
You know what? I have an extra that you can have. All right? There you go. You're lucky. I have some extras.
Thanks.
There we go. All right? And so we looked at, hey, instead of just looking at the prime factors, so we go, what's the biggest factor that can go in each one? And that's usually the way we want to think. Yes?
I have it.
You have it? There we go. Right, so for the first question there, we had 12 over 20. We go 4 times 3 and 4 times 5. We just cancel out the 4s. Right? So this skill of making fractions into the lowest terms, that's what this is called, is going to be used throughout the entire chapter, right? So we're going to learn how to multiply fractions, which you've probably done before, divide fractions just at the grade 8 level, and adding and subtracting fractions at the grade 8 level. And you're going to learn all those skills again, which you've done before. Then you also need to be able to simplify it to lowest terms, this, on top of everything else you're doing. Okay, so let's go to today's notes. And today we're going to talk about multiplying fractions. Okay, so remember, it doesn't matter that we're doing fractions. Multiplication means the same thing. If we said 3 times 2, that just means that we have 3 groups of 2. It would mean, remember, multiplication is just a fast way of adding. It just means like 2 plus 2 plus 2, right? And it is equal to 6. We have 3 groups of 2. And now if we have 3 times 5 over 6, it means the same thing. We just have 5, this is 3 groups of 5 over 6. Yes, Lachlan?
Is the answer 15 over 18?
No.
Really?
No. All right. So what do we have? We have 5 groups of 6. So I'm going to shade this in. Shade in 5 groups of the 6. And shade in 5 groups of the 6 here. We have 3 of these, right? That's what. I'll shade that in. Right? So what this means is we have 5 over 6 plus 5 over 6 plus 5 over 6. Adding is slow. That's why we do multiplication. We don't want to go 2, in the previous example, we don't want to go 2 plus 2 plus 2. That's not too bad. We can do that in our head, but what if there was 15 2's, right? That's why we do multiplication. So if we were to add these numbers, you guys remember how to add fractions from last year? Right?
Not really.
All right? No? You guys didn't do adding fractions last year?
No, we did. I just forgot.
You just forgot. And we're going to talk about adding fractions in the following class. Yes, Abby?
It would be 2 over 2, would be 2 wholes and 3 sixths.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So we're talking about out of 6 parts. Like the bottom tells you how many parts there are. There's 6 parts. And how many parts do we have here? We have 5 and another 5 and another 5. So altogether we have 15 parts. Right? So this is writing as an improper fraction. And Abby wrote it as a proper fraction. So we're talking about 2 full ones and whatever you have left over. And we'll talk about that later on.
So wait, do you only times the top number then?
Yeah. So when we do this as a multiplication, so we don't have to do the addition. Yes, Gordon?
So would you turn it into a mixed fraction?
Yeah. Not yet. I'll talk about that later on, okay? But when multiplying, what we do is if you have a whole number, we want to rewrite that whole number as a fraction. So we put that 4 over an imaginary 1. For example, in this one, we go 4 over 1. because it means the same thing. 4 over 1, or 4 divided by 1, is equal to 4. But now it's written as a fraction, and it makes the math a little bit easier. Then we write the second fraction out, right? And to multiply fractions, what we do is we multiply the numerators together, and we multiply, the denominators together. Right? Multiply the top numbers together, multiply the bottom numbers together. So you go 4 times 2 is 8, 1 times 3 is 3. And that's it. Right? And then what we do is once you have it multiplied out, we check to see if it can be reduced into lower terms. Is there a factor that can go into both 8 and 3? So we can reduce these. Is there anything? Can we simplify this further? Right? No, there isn't. Right, so that's it. We always need to check for an n. And if we did the top one as a multiplication, we could have worked out 3 over 1 times 5 over 6. Multiply the tops together, would have been 3 times 5, which is 15. Multiply the bottoms together, 1 times 6 as 6. And that's it. Okay? So multiply the tops together, multiply the bottoms together. Right? So, try the 4 questions of example 1 here. A, B, C, and D. What is the fraction? I'll give you guys a minute or so to try. Okay, let's do this. So first one's already up on the screen there. Second one, B. How do we rewrite the fraction? We have 5 over 8 is already a fraction. What are we multiplying by?
3.
3 over 1?
3 over 1.
Where are we getting the 1 from, though?
We're just rewriting this 3 whole number as a fraction, right? Because 3 over 1 is equivalent to 3, right? Remember, 3 divided by 1 is equal to 3,
Okay.
right? We do this so we can apply the multiplication rules. So we can clearly see what numbers are in the numerator, what numbers are in the denominator, right? So Gordon, what did you do next?
I did 5 times 3.
5 times 3, which is
15.
15 over 8. Not bad, all right? So the next one, it's the same thing. Let's make this bigger here. 3 over 5 times 5 over 1. What is the fraction? Noah, what is it equal?
15 over 5.
Yep, multiply the tops together. 15 over 5. Next one. We have 11 over 1 times 1 over 8. Multiply the tops together, multiply the bottoms together. What do you have, Mohammed?
11 over 8.
11 over 8. Now, that's steps 1, 2, and 3 I mentioned. But we didn't talk about step 4 with any of these. Put your answer into lowest terms. Are these in lowest terms, or can we simplify any of these further? Yes, Noah?
Can't you do C?
Yeah, C we can simplify. Right? Both of them, 15 and 5, both end in 5, so they're multiple of 5. So what does it simplify down to?
I had 5 times 1, and then 5 times 3, and then I canceled out the 2 5s and had 1 over 3.
Yeah, so 5, top is 5 times 3, and the bottom is 5 times 1. The 2 5s cancel out. We're left with 3 over 1, which is the same thing as just 3. Okay? All the others are already in lowest terms. We can't simplify those further. Okay? So we're going to take a break at this moment, and we're going to go back and do the day 1 homework. And we'll start up later on in class, and we'll do the second page. And in the second page, you'll notice that we have 2 fractions, and they're not whole fractions, right? So we have to apply the same rules. All right.